Hey peeps, I hope whoever is watching is doing well. This past weekend I watched a new film by Guillermo del Toro, Nightmare Alley, and I thought I should just come on here and share my thoughts here. Well, it's written by Kim Morgan and Guillermo del Toro, and he also directed it, and it's based on a 1946 novel, and also there was a movie in 1947. So this is eventually a remake of 1947 movie. So, but it's adopted from the novel and the movie, and it is you can say a neo noir film, and there is a psychology involved. It's a psychological crime thriller, I would say, and yeah, I love the film, and I'll explain it why I love the film. So, Bradley Cooper is starring in the main role, and in the supporting roles, there is a William Dafoe, Rooney Mara, Ron Perlman, and a lot of other actors. And these were the ones who stood out to me. And the the reason I love this film is even though the screenplay is well written, but I love this film because of how well it was directed, how well it was shot, and how well the scoring of the movie was done. Like after I got out of the movie, I kept thinking that what is the thing like I could not like put a finger on the music of the film, like how music, like how well the music was directed. Like I knew, like when I was watching the movie, like I could sense the I could s- I could not even I could not even like put my finger on it, like how subtle and how, like, because you I was so caught up in the story, I was so caught up in the visuals and the world Gilmore has created. Excuse me. So, I think Nathan Johnson, who scored the movie, did a really, really fantastic job. So, now, coming back to the story, is eventually a story of a man who eventually ends up being in the situation, being a kind of person he hates. So if the story comes a full circle, like in the first part of the movie, is like it has a classic structure of like setting up the characters, then the conflict, and then the consequences, and I loved how Gilmore took the time to set up this whole world of Carnival. I loved how he and his production team put so much effort in building the Carnival life and the Carnival look. So I saw it in cinema. So like I like it was available on Hulu and HBO Max, but I decided to go into a theater, and thank God I did, because when I was sitting there, I could like literally feel, because I've been on some film sets, and where they do the production designing and everything, and they make the world, they build the world where the character would be living in, and I could literally feel the rust and dust and that like rain and cold and all that like all that colorful and also dark at the same time and shadowy world of that carnival festival he created. So I think that helped, all of that helped to create the atmosphere of the movie, because the movie is full of atmosphere, full of atmosphere. Even in the second part of the movie, when it becomes all like uh, it's interesting in the first part of the movie when it's very when the visuals are very dark, the characters are in a way where they are good, but they are not like still conflicted. But in the last part of the movie, when the visuals are snowy and light, full of light, and there are not many shadows, there are, but it's like a majority is like a light and white colors and snow and all of that stuff. The slowly and surely characters start to become way more conflicted. The movie starts to become way more darker, and the shadows are well put together. There is like a, I remember a scene between Bradley Cooper in the second part of the movie, between Bradley Cooper and Rooney Mara, where they are talking to each other in a car. Like you can like that. What this is the one of the scenes which made the movie for me, because her half of her face is in the dark side and half of her face is lit in the light, and they are having this conversation where she is telling him a story of how their relationship is right now, and she is referencing to a part of her life when she made a clear decision. So in that scene, like there are in that scene, that's where the movie turns for me. That's where the movie turns for me, because in those two scenes, you see either as Bradley Cooper's character could have made that choice as Rooney Mara did, and maybe had moved on with his life the way she did, and but he chose that second part with what he wanted to do, the part of darkness and like really conflict, and he played with it, and he eventually faced the consequences. Just like one of the scenes, Kate Blanchett character says, and he asks, "What happened?" He asked to her, and she's like, "Life happened." So, and eventually he lets life to happen to him, and he eventually ends up being the same sort of thing or same sort of a person he always hated in his mentor, in his mentor in Carnival, in his father, in his upbringing, and he eventually faces it. And I loved how Gilmore crafted the story, like from a psychological perspective. Like you would think like because it's always interested to me, yeah, like I always find it really fascinating, like what is the like a motivation for the writer or the director to take the story in that way, and is that when they're writing the character, are they writing it from the psychological perspective, are they writing it from the genetical perspective? But it doesn't matter because the story and the script is so well written and so well directed and so well acted. Like when I saw Bradley Cooper in the trailer with that small mustache and everything, I wasn't that much sold on it, and I was like, I don't know, it's Guillermo del Toro. I liked him, and I also like Bradley Cooper, but I had my on how do you say it? I had my own contradictions, but I am happy that I went and saw in the theater, and I enjoyed it. I enjoyed the acting, I enjoyed the writing, the directing, the cinematography, the score, and everything is perfectly well done. And I loved how the movie ends, and it gives you a total to audience, at least I think it gives closure even into the character of Bradley Cooper. So I would say if somebody is watching, and if you had any uh, if you were not thinking about going to watch it in cinema and you're planning to watch it at home, I would, from my personal experience, suggest that you go and watch it in cinema. But if it doesn't work for you and you want to watch it at home, you should watch it and not skip it, because I am pretty sure that if I get a time, I'm going to watch it for the second time. So go and enjoy the new film by Guillermo del Toro, The Nightmare Alley. Thank you and have a good day.